The sun sank low on the village trail.
I married Frank quietly. No ceremony, no guests. Just us and a pastor. Only my mother knew. She didn't object, but I bet she feared what might happen next. After our marriage, Frank and I prayed and fasted every day. Every morning, I poured anointing oil on Frank's pillow and whispered psalms. He always called me a blessing, and for a moment, I believed him. We built something beautiful. Frank smiled more, and I thought, maybe the curse was broken. Then, something unexpected happened. I got pregnant. We hadn't planned it, but we were overjoyed. We argued playfully over names. He wanted a boy, I wanted a girl. I felt whole again, like maybe I wasn't a walking graveyard. But then, one morning, Frank started coughing lightly, then fever, then body weakness. I took him to the hospital. The doctors said malaria, then pneumonia, then something else. I don't even remember it anymore, but one thing remained constant. None of the treatments worked. By my 7th month, Frank could barely walk. I cried every day, knowing this was my fault. I brought my curse on him. Frank died 3 weeks before our child was born. Everyone knew it was my fault, but my mother said nothing. I yelled at her. "Are you happy now? Did I need to be your test subject so badly?" She didn't reply. She just sat there staring away. 3 weeks later, I gave birth to our son, Promise. I told everyone about my son, but my mother. She wanted to come and help me, but I refused. She sent wrappers, food, gifts. I sent them all back. I didn't need her in my life. Frank's death made me accept who I was, a curse, a living tomb. So I stopped loving. I focused on raising my son, did everything I could to give him a good life. When Promise turned 16, my mother fell ill. I hadn't spoken to her in years, but I went. When I saw her in the hospital bed, she looked weak, eyes filled with regret. She tried to hold me, but I didn't let her. "Why did you do it?" I asked her. She sobbed, apologizing to me, but I couldn't stay with her. So I left her. I stayed in the reception, ignoring her requests to see me. Mother died that night. At her funeral, I stood beside my son, but I didn't shed a tear. Did I forgive her? Sometimes I think I did. Other times, like when Promise asked why his father never came to football matches, I didn't. Time went by fast. Promise got married. Even though I was scared the curse would move to him, but it didn't. A year later, I held my grandson in my arms, my perfect Elijah, tiny, wrinkled, perfect. I looked at him and wept. Not for the men I lost, but for this child who had no shadow hanging over him. A clean slate, a new start. I dared to hope. Maybe the curse ended with me. Maybe love could return in the form of lullabies and soft baby breaths. I enjoyed being a grandmother before Jonah came into my life. He was the new choir director, a widower, a man with a calm spirit. He didn't chase me. He just stayed close, offered me prayers and helped carry my Bible, though I told him I could manage. But he kept showing up, quietly, kindly. And even though I told myself not to get involved, this soft heart of mine cracked. After my grandson's birthday, Jonah came to see me. He said I hadn't let him sing for the child. But Jonah, he wasn't really asking to sing for the boy. He was asking to be close, close to me. Jonah came over to the house often. He sang to me often and I listened, not with my ears, but with the part of me that had gone quiet for years. We didn't call it love, we called it friendship. For months, we were just two people enjoying each other's presence. until he asked me to marry him. I froze. Jonah already knew my past. He knew about the curse, but he didn't care. I told him we were too old to get married. He just laughed and said this was the perfect age for marriage. But I said no. I avoided him. Still, I missed him. Jonah spoke to my son about his interest in me, and my son told me to marry him since he made me happy. Still, I said no. But deep down, I knew I was in love with Jonah, but I was scared. Yet I married him. I moved into Jonah's house. We were happy, but it was short-lived. 3 months after our marriage, Jonah started coughing like Frank. It was just a small cough at first, but I knew what was happening. I didn't wait for tests or doctors to tell me anything. I knew. It was the curse. And in less than 3 days, Jonah died. My number 4 husband was dead. At the funeral, I didn't cry. I wore the same black scarf I wore for Frank. My son stood beside me. Elijah slept on his back. Tanya, his wife, held my hand. After the burial, I moved back with my son. Sometimes I sit in the dark and ask God what I did wrong, but heaven stays silent. The curse was never broken, so I broke something else. My own heart. I stopped falling in love. Instead, I live for small things. Elijah's laughter, the scent of baby powder, the warmth of tiny fingers gripping mine. And I made sure Tanya never strapped her babies to her back. I won't let what happened to me happen again. My mother's mistake shaped my life, but maybe it wasn't just her error. Maybe it was fate. But one thing I know now is, the folktales aren't always just tales. Sometimes they're warnings wrapped in fiction. They're truths we didn't understand until it was too late.